My wife Nancy is joining us here for a little bit.
Awesome.
Had to celebrate a little bit for opening day. This will probably come off quickly, just like it would if I had it on in a game, because it would choke me. The other thing is, this is supposed to be happy hour, so thanks to Budweiser, we're all going to start with a toast. So those of you that have a drink, raise your glass to the first Mystic Championship, but not the last. And we're going to try to keep doing this. And I thank you all for all your wonderful support and all you've done. And it's not the day we wanted it to be, but let's celebrate anyway. We'll just stay champions longer. All right. Thanks. Welcome all. All right. Now, Megan, you can start with.
Okay, Coach Carol has a question, and she's wondering if you can talk about the transition on the coaching staff with Asia Jones becoming an assistant coach, while, as you just mentioned, Marianne Stanley heads to Indiana as head coach.
Well, I've been kind of always trying to prepare, for when you lose an assistant, if they leave, if they go somewhere else, get a head coaching job. So I'm always trying to be prepared for that. We brought Asia in a couple years ago to work in player development and start, learning how we did things. She played for me, so she knows what I'm about and how I go about things. She's been terrific on the court with our post players. A year ago, we started prepping for her to have a more engaged role with our players. And so she had a lot of our post player work on the court that Marianne used to do. She did, 3 or 4 of our scouts during the year, preparation for certain teams. So we were kind of ready, if either one of my other assistants had left. So she was prepared, and it's been a very smooth transition. And I think she's well prepared for it right now.
Now, Coach, I want to ask a personal question, because part of the quarantine is the one piece of sports we've gotten has been The Last Dance. And if some don't know, you were part of the group that actually drafted Michael Jordan to the Bulls, and you made a cameo appearance from some old school footage
Yes.
at practice, and the picture with yourself, Eric, and Mike. So just, can you tell us a little bit about what you've thought of the documentary series so far?
Well, it's been pretty accurate. I mean, I was only there with Michael for a couple of years, but, obviously coached against that group too, as things went along. I just think that, it's done a great job of portraying the intensity that Michael has. Everybody does things differently. My team didn't have that kind of a personality on our team, and nor did we need it. Some teams need that kind of personality. From everything I have seen and observed, Kobe had a similar personality in LA.
We've got a written question from Terrence Hayes, and it is, sports are built on good rivalries. Who would be considered the Mystics' top rivalry in the W?
Well, based on this past year, I think we played those two teams in the playoffs. I mean, Connecticut, it's its proximity, my history with Connecticut. When you play a team enough times, you start to build up a little bit of animosity. Vegas always is going to be that way, just because Bill can't help himself with his team. He and I had a rivalry when he was in Detroit and I was in Connecticut. And you have some people like Cam Beige who like to speak out loud often. So that gets the juices flowing for a lot of people. I thought the back and forth a couple weeks ago about LaToya and everything else, I thought our social media people did a good job of responding to the milk issue when we said, who needs milk when you have champagne? So, I think those two teams right now jump out. I think those rivalries evolve as you get more competitive with each other. We don't play we haven't played enough big games with LA to get there. Seattle was getting to that point, and then last year without Sue and Breanna Stewart, that kind of diminished a little bit. So I expect that will become a big one again. And if Taurasi is healthy and talking smack the whole game, then that will be back. But the teams we played right now are immediately in mind in Connecticut and Vegas.
Hi, thanks for taking
Hi,
my
how are you?
question. Good. I am totally new to the WNBA world. Like I moved to DC last year and I discovered a championship team. And there's always naysayers like, why would you watch the WNBA and things like that? And usually I say, let the haters hate. But if you're responding, like, what is your favorite part about the WNBA, or like, what would you say to people like that?
Well, I think the first thing you say, basketball is basketball. And so, it's played at a high level. We're talking about the best women athletes in the entire world playing our game. And so, getting an opportunity to see the best at any profession is a pretty special thing. Number two is that, the game keeps growing and people are getting stronger, faster every year. And the athleticism in our league right now is at its all-time high. We have so many great shooters. We have more size in the post. I just think if anybody who watched the finals series last year and didn't like it as basketball, then they're not real basketball fans. The real basketball people appreciate the great basketball. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's fun in our organization to have the synergy of having an NBA and a WNBA and a G League team all in the same building, because the respect level is there. Brad Beal always, says to me, I'm not getting in a shooting contest with Elena. That's not happening. And so there's that respect level that there is there. And for me, I've coached both the NBA and the WNBA. I've loved both equally. It's great basketball. Obviously I'm not drawing up the same kind of plays. I'm not throwing lobs for dunks in the huddle very often, but it's great basketball. And we have the best shooter in the world right now playing on our team. And we have a couple who aren't that far behind. People forget that Emma Miesemann was a 50-40 player last year, except that she didn't have enough games to qualify. So I've always said, when I first came in the league, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I go back to the NBA. And I've had a lot of opportunities to go back. And I've always said, I've got a great job. Why would I leave? And so that's where our life has taken us. We're totally in love with doing this.
So Coach Tebow, Nancy, thank you so much to our entire Club 52 and founding fans and Mystics fans that joined us today. We had over 100 people joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Good to see all of you.
Thank you. Nice to see everybody. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.